Hello, I'm One of These Days Football, and this is our weekly A-League tip series for 23-24. This is the Game Week 3 video, so I'll be reviewing Game Week 2 and how we've been going so far, and then my tips and my thoughts behind those tips for the upcoming Game Week 3, which starts in about 30 minutes. So let's get this going. I've got a point system just to try and keep myself accountable week by week. So for the first week, So if you get above 3 points, if you get 3 out of 6, you get a win, or higher, you get a win, and anything below that, you get a loss, which I've judged on the public, on how well the average public member's doing. I'm not sure if this is a good way to judge it. This is just how I'll be going for the first season, as I'm not really sure of the best way to do this. So a pretty rudimentary system, I figured, would be best for first season, and then see how we go. So in the first week, we got 3 out of 6. In the second week, we got 4 out of 6, which actually means we've got 7 out of 12 so far, which somehow means I'm currently equal 17th in the tipping, and 2 wins on the board. So 6 points out of 6 points for me if I was a football team. Currently, I am not a football team and never will be, as one man cannot be 11. So anyway, it's going pretty well. However, I still think the first first 4 to 5 weeks are quite random and sporadic, and to get points is a little bit more luck based, I would say, in this. So I do think I'm getting quite fortunate at the moment. But nevertheless, we'll put what I think I've learnt in to the upcoming games for Game Week 3. So these are the upcoming games. We have City Sydney tonight in 30 minutes, Wellington Raw in Wellington, Macarthur, Western in Campbelltown, Melbourne Victory, Adelaide United as the probably headline clash of this week. 2 teams that haven't lost, and I don't think either team has conceded yet. In Melbourne, of course, Saturday night, Perth hosting the Mariners and Newcastle hosting Western Sydney Wanderers. So for the first game, we do pick the scoreline as well as the winner, and I'm going to go with an old cliche, an old trope. Both teams have been doing terribly, but the new manager bounce, for me, has Melbourne City winning with Aurelio Vidmar as his first game in charge, I think. Oh no, he did that midweek Asian Cup game, but his first A-League game in charge. Arslan's back starting again, which I think is a massive difference for Melbourne City. They got blown out last week 6-0 by Adelaide United. I don't think anyone would have seen that coming, and well, I think if McLaren scores that penalty and it's 2-1, the game's just totally different. I don't think the game ends 6-1. So I do think, that was a bit blown out of proportion. Adelaide United, the better team, of course, on the day, but I do think Melbourne City weren't 6-0 worse than Adelaide United. So I do think we'll get that new manager bounce for this week. Sydney haven't looked too good in the first couple of weeks of the A-League. I think we will start to see McLaren thrive again, and with Arslan back, he was just phenomenal in the first game against Western. So I've got them at home winning by a goal. Maybe I should have them winning by 2, but I've got them winning by a goal for that bonus point. Anyway, on to the next game. Wellington Phoenix out of nowhere, 4 points, when most people would probably say they would have expected them to have 0 or 1, because they did play Perth in Wellington. But the new goalkeeper, Paulson, really good to see him starting. They've conceded 1 goal in 2 games, which is really good for the Knicks. They've scored twice. They're not bad. Plain and simple, they are not bad. Do I think they're great? No. Are they extremely defensive? Yes. I can see them scoring in this game. I can see this game being 3-1. Just not their way, as I think Brisbane will win. I just think Brisbane look really good. I think they missed Tom Wadningham in the first game they played, or the first season game they played. But with that 9, with that focal point, they just looked excellent, and they even looked excellent in the grand final of the Cup. I think if they can maintain a high pressure system and use that focal point that they have with good supporting cast players and O'Shea just being a force in the middle of the park, I can see them winning a lot of games, and I can see them outclassing the low block of the Knicks. Next game, MacArthur versus Western United. Both teams, Western, obviously, first game, cracker. Second game, terrible, conceded 5.5. MacArthur, both games have been okay. Pretty good. Better than the average human might have been suspecting from MacArthur. I don't know if MacArthur's home games make a huge difference for them yet. I'm not trying to be mean, just fan base wise. Maybe this season they can make that happen, make that a thing. But I think Western will be looking to rebound. I think MacArthur are pretty good. And I think I'm pulling hairs here because I think it's going to be a draw. I honestly don't really know who's going to win this game. I think Western looked good against Melbourne City, or they looked good on the counter, sorry. They looked good defensively, and they look like schoolboys against Western Sydney Wanderers. Or for 45 minutes at least. I think MacArthur will be good. I think this will be 1-1, 2-2 kind of operation. I think John will try and keep it pretty tight at the back. Might snag one. And MacArthur, I think, probably also snag one. I see 1-1 for this game. Moving on to the game of the round, Melbourne Victory versus Adelaide United. Huge call by me, but I'm going to say Adelaide have 9 points at the end of Saturday night. And do I think 3-0 against the Mariners flattered Adelaide? Yes. Do I think 6-0 against Melbourne City flattered Adelaide? Yes. Do I think Melbourne Victory's first win 2-0 against Sydney flattered them? Not really. Do I think Melbourne City's 5-3 against Newcastle Jets flattered them a little bit? I mean, yeah, when you have a player score 4.5, that's not going to happen every week, and the numbers suggest that probably isn't a consistent thing, that Fornarelli is going to score 4.5. Maybe one in a game would be great, but I think, yeah. So I'm saying both teams have probably been flattered a bit in one way or another. Popovich has turned it around, which I'm quite impressed by. I didn't think he would. But I just think Carl has a lot of firepower coming off the bench. And if things need to change, maybe 45 minutes into the game, 60 minutes into the game, I think United probably do that a bit better in multiple ways, defensively and offensively. Missing Ben Wallen this week for Adelaide United. But I don't know, I see Adelaide United scoring more goals than Melbourne Victory. I'm really not too sure about the scoreline. I just didn't want to pick a dead rubber. I didn't want to pick a draw here. And my gut was telling me Adelaide United. So I've gone with them. There's not too much more to it. Maybe I can do a review of that game. That's what we'll do. We'll do a review of that game. Maybe tactically. Or another game this week. Maybe this Melbourne Sydney game. See what we can pick up. I don't know. I'll do a tactical review of one of these games to try and keep myself more accountable. Anyway, moving on. Perth. Anyone playing in Perth? I think all Perth are pretty good in Perth. And they've got good coaching staff this season. But Mariners are okay. Mariners probably score a goal, I think. Mariners probably score a goal. I think Perth probably score a goal. But I think Mariners probably score a goal. Again, 1-1, 2-2 kind of operation for Perth. Mariners not the best. Perth still not the best, but not bad, especially in Perth. If this was in the coast, I'd give it to the Mariners, but it's not. It's in Perth, a long way from home. Draw. Draw for me. I don't think Perth win it. Last game, Newcastle versus Western Sydney. I'm going to go really, really rogue here and say Western Sydney win. Rogue to no one, I don't think, that has been watching the first couple games. Do Newcastle look terrible? No. Do Western Sydney look absolutely outrageously good? No. Well, they did for 45 minutes, but we will see. I still think, from what I've seen so far, Western Sydney just look like they have better players at the moment than the Jets. The Jets don't look too bad, have been scoring goals. Would like to see a bit more from that game, but I'll probably be absolutely knackered and won't be able to watch it. But I'm going to tip Western Sydney Wanderers. Anyway, I've been one of these days football. I'm going to try and do a tactical breakdown of one of these games this week. I don't know what to pick. I'll probably try and pick the most interesting scoreline or interesting game. I'll try and watch 4 out of the 6 and give you a tactical breakdown because I think that'll be fun. I'll probably realistically be doing it for me, but that doesn't matter. I've been one of these days football. This is our game week 3 tips video. Have an excellent week and enjoy the football. Enjoy the A-League.